Here? You're
I put the Chodesh. Start a little late because of Rosh Chodesh. Is it 7:25 yet?
Oh, yes.
So because we don't have a lot of time, try to limit your questions to only really good ones. Says the Mishnah, Daf Mem Ches Amud Aleph. Mi sheloi pikra ishtoi v'yol shnei zkarim. We already had all these concepts of animals giving birth and you don't know who the mother is. So now we have it by humans. We have a woman who never gave birth, and she gave birth to two males. No chiddush over here. Obviously, the father owes 5 slime. Even though we don't know, there's 2 males. We don't know which one was born first. It doesn't matter because mimad of shach, one of them is a bechor. Meis echod mehem b'toich shloishim yom. The chiyuv of pidyon haben only occurs when the boy becomes 30 days old. One of the 2 died within 30 days. And now you don't know if the one that died is the Bechor or the one that died is not the Bechor. Ha'av Patur. The father doesn't have to give Pidyon Haben.
It's different.
Meisa Av v'habanim kayomim. If the father died and the sons are still alive. Now, we're going to see in a second. That's the whole Gemara. So now the father dies. The sons are alive, so nobody did Pidyon Haben for them. If the father doesn't do Pidyon Haben for them, they have a chiyuv. But who has the chiyuv? When it's 1 for 2, the father for sure has a chiyuv Pidyon Haben because he has 2 sons. One of them is a bechor. But when the son himself looks at himself, he doesn't have that chiyuv. He's not for sure. He's only 50%, so he doesn't have to give to the client.
The other guy.
So Rameir says it's dependent on if they did the chalukah of the Yerusha, if they divided the Yerusha. So if they divided the Yerusha, and the Gemara is going to explain everything, why and where and how long were they alive, when did the father die. Says the Mishnah, if they already gave the Kayan before they divided Nasnu, Vimlav Pturim. Once the chalukah happens, so now there's no shibud anymore towards the claim. We don't know where he could get his money from. They already divided. Beforehand, there was no chalukah, so still, let's say, in the father's estate. So the client has a claim to the estate. So he goes and he takes it. But once they divide it, now the estate is split, and we don't know where the client gets his money from. So, all of it right. When we learn the Gemara, everything's going to be a lot more clear. When this happened, what we're talking about. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, there's a claim to the state, and then afterwards they divided it, it's too bad. There's still a claim to the state. Let the state pay it half and half.
So 2.5 each, yeah? 2.5 each.
Yeah. Now, if a woman who didn't give birth before, she was pregnant with twins, if it's 2 males, the Mishnah says, then of course the father has a chiyuv b'chayra, a chiyuv pidyon haben, because mimad of shach. But zachar v'nukeva, if she gave birth to a male and a female, it's possible that the female came out first. And kan l'kohen klum, again, there's no claim. These are all things that we had by animals. Same halach applies to people. Says the Gemara, the misal avemas. When exactly did this father die? If he died after 30 days, then what happened? He has a chiyuv of pidyon haben. By the time he died, he already owed the kohen money. How could they divide? Thank you. How could they divide the estate after there's already a chiyuv to the kohen? You can't do that. So who cares if they divided the estate or not? It's already too late. The state owes the money to the kohen. You can't go ahead and divide the estate once you're mechuyev. Hello, so of course we are obligated to say the mizbetach shloshim yom. All this happened, the father died within 30 days of their birth, so there was never an obligation. The obligation, we said, only happens when the kid is 30 days old. Maishna ki cholku. So as the Gemara, what's the difference? When, if they divided it and he goes to one son, he tells him, get out of here, it's not me, I'm not the Bechor. Why? Because at the end of the day, there was no chiyuv from the father. That's the point here. If the state owed the money, I understand. But you're saying that the father died within 30 days. So the father never owed the money. So then who cares if they divided the money or not, if they split the estate? At the end of the day, there's no chiyuv to the kohen, and each one could push him off.
Which kohen is going?
Okay, so that's the old question, exactly. But a kohen is going, says, give me the money, I want money. I'm representing everybody. So who cares?
That has a right to it, otherwise the kohen
Yeah, but
doesn't have a
in the
claim.
Makir Kuna, I mean,
That's what we
make
said.
place to you.
Give you the other one.
The other Makir
Give
Kuna.
you the other
The
guy.
one that the father always gives to, that's what we learned.
Whatever he does,
I
it
don't
for
know.
No,
you.
because Tamatzi Mechaver Al Raya on the Kayan.
No, we learned that if there's a standard kohen he gives to all the time, then
Well,
we
it's-
assume
But if you
that's
really want to be
the
like
right.
you could say
Always
these are
be
shah
about
from all the
how
time.
This
Those are
guy
shah
does like
from
a
all
lot of
the
video
time.
events, like every week, different
They
things.
all came together and said
Same
we're
coin.
representing. But the point of the Gemara is like as follows: if the father never had an obligation to the kohen because the kid was never 30 days old, so then who cares? So the father died without an obligation. So what difference does it make if they divided the estate or not? Even if they didn't divide the estate, there's never an obligation from the father. So now who's the kohen going to go to? There's twins here. He's going to go to Reuven, the twin. Reuven's going to say it's not me. Go to Shimon. Shimon will say it's not me. Go to Reuven. He doesn't have a solid claim. If the claim is to one person, then it's solid. But if the claim is to two people, one or two people, it's never a solid claim. And over here, it's one of the twins, and we don't know which one of the twins it is. So why do we care? Why does the Gemara say that? Why does Rameir say that they split it? Who cares if they split it? There's no difference between splitting and not splitting. Omer Rabbi Yirmiyah. Today, actually, we have a lot of beautiful Yisoidas and Shas. And here's one of them. Omer Rabbi Yirmiyah, Zoysim Meres. From here you see, Shnei Yosef and Shimon. If a guy pulls out a shtar chayv, he has a shtar that Yosef and Shimon from Ramah Bet Shemesh owes him $1 million. So he goes to Yosef and Shimon, he says, here. So Yosef and Shimon says, yeah, but there's a guy in Rival that's also Yosef and Shimon. You don't know it's me. He looks in the phone book and he realizes there's two. There's only two. So it's either him or him. What does he do? He's up a creek. His shtar is worthless right now. But Rabbi Yirmiyah comes out with a big chap. There's certain situations that you can pin them down if they're both partners in something. Then he says, oh, Memadavshach.
Or your Shimon and I
Yeah? If two Yosef and Shimons are partners in one field, now he says, okay, I'm going to this one field. From this one field, somebody owes me. It's either you or you. If I come to you individually,
Well,
you'll
partner,
go.
you can't make me lose out because he owes you.
No,
My partner, Yosef,
I'm going to
doesn't
take, but I'm taking 50% from the other guy. But in this field, you're a partner in somebody's field that you don't deserve that. You're a partner with him in a part that you don't deserve. You shouldn't have. I came first in that
So then
field.
you're taking from him, and he's going to say it's me. What do you mean?
But in that field, I have a lien on that field. The Mothership, I have a lien on that field.
He has a star in Yosef and Shimon. You could say it's not.
But which one?
No,
But
he's
which one are you
saying
gonna
he's saying
take
that the
from?
partner that's not chayiv, that has nothing to do with the story.
You said that he's not chayiv. The star says that he is chayiv.
One of them is not,
Okay.
and he's a partner. Now you're harming the partner that's not chayiv. You say, but he has a lien to the partner, to
the
that
other one,
field,
not to me.
to that field though,
To that
to the
field.
field,
I assume these
not to
are,
the person, to the field.
I assume these are Nechosim Sheikh
He's trying to get away from the star.
This loan was done.
There's another guy.
Star.
But it doesn't matter.
Star is a
The
star.
other guy's
Star's
also
clearly not
owns
so
you.
nice.
Why not?
Two of
It
you
was
guys.
signed in his
Only if it's a
business.
star
It was
A good
confirmed.
star, a good star. Let's see it inside. Omar Rabbi Zoyse Meir Shnei Yosef and Shimon Shahoyu Be'ir Achas. And they bought a field in partnership. Now remember this Rabbi Yirmiyah, because it's going to switch soon to a little bit of a different case. Over here, they both bought together a field b'shutfus. If you owe me the money, I'm going to take your portion. And if it's your friend, you're going to try to push me off to your friend. So over here, what's happening over here? He goes to the two Yarshim. He tells the Yarshim in Manavshach, I have a claim to the estate. There's one estate. You're both partners here. If you divided it, that's what Rameir says. It depends if you divided it or didn't divide it. If you didn't divide it, I have a claim to that estate. You can't push me off because I'm going straight to the estate. But if they divided it, now each one says, don't take from me, take from him. It's not one estate. It's not a shutfas. It's not the same case as Yirmiyah. Yirmiyah says a case where they're both shutfim today. So today, Mimadashach, I could go to that one field. That's similar to the case of Yarshim before the division, before the Chalukah. Omarava, it's more the Kesugi here. It gets better and better. Omarava. Comes Rava with another Chiddush. A Shas Chiddush. What is a field? A field is no more than a guarantee, than a guarantor. The person owes money, he go to the guarantor called Shimon, or otherwise known as a field. That's how Rava learns it. The field is a guarantor. How could this Kohen go to the field, go to the state before he goes to the Yarshim? If he went to the Yarshim, each Yarsh pushes him off. Says the Kohen, you know what? I'm going to go directly to the field. I'm not even going to discuss it with the twins. How can he do that? First, you have to knock on the door, have a sit down with the Yarshim, and if you have a claim to the Yarish, and the Yarish doesn't have money, then I go to the field. I can't go directly to the field, says Rav. Why? Vasnan, I learned in the Mishnah, if somebody borrows money with a guarantor, you're not allowed to go directly. Let's say the Arev is a multi-millionaire. So you say, why should I bother with the schnorrer guy? He's going to give me the runaround. I'm going to go straight to the millionaire. Knock on Reichman's door, your guarantor.
Can't do that.
Give me the money. You can't do that. How do I know? I'm not allowed to go to the Arev first. I have to go first to the Loiva. And Rashi sticks in here. There's a Mordecai. Hold on. Look at this Mordecai Rashi here.
The Arev is part of the.
No, it's only if he defaults.
Only if he defaults. Look at this. It says in Rashi, Lo yipara, the kaim lo mai lo yipara, the lo yitva lo Arev tchilo, at sheyitva min aloiva, the lo yeh lo malafroya. Rashi sticks in here. If you can't, it's not just I call him up and then I hang up real quickly and I go to the Arev. I call him up and I find out if he has money. He doesn't have money, and then we go through everything, and he doesn't have anything. Then I go to the Arev. And by the way, I think I might have mentioned this, but I'll mention it again. It's a little controversial. It's a taiva, because I used to just sign. People used to ask me, "Could you be an Arev?" Yeah, no problem. I didn't even think twice, and the guy's for sure going to pay. And that, Baruch Hashem, I never got bit by this, but I know somebody in this neighborhood who did it for his good friend. And he owes $1 million shekel now, and the gemach goes straight to you. They don't care, and he pays every month like a tatala, as if he took out the loan. So you could be an Arev if you understand that it's your loan. You pretend you took out the loan. Don't just be an Arev and think to yourself, I'm just going to sign. It's not going to. No, there's another Arev. They'll go to him first. No, if you're going to sign as Arev, remember it's really dangerous. Elam Arava Lo'ilam. So Memela comes Rava and says like this. So what's Rava's kasha? Again, Rava's kasha is, even though you have an estate that Mimanav Shach the Kohen is owed money from, but the Kohen has no right to go to the state before he deals with the Yarshim. And he can't deal with the Yarshim because the Yarshim just push him off. They'll say, it's not me, it's him, it's not him, it's saying. So Mela, you have no right to go to the state. Elam Arava Lo'ilam. So can I just
ask you, on the other hand, the case that we had just above, where the two guys have the same name, why is that different? Each one says, don't come to me. I don't owe you the money, the other guy, Shimon, owes you the money. So why here are we saying you can go to the field just because they own the field jointly? Why is that different to here?
It's different in a loan and Bechoros.
Attached to the field rather than attached to the person.
We're saying the field
Because
is
with
another.
Bechoros is with the person, so eventually the kids have to pay. And then it's a suffix because you've got two of them.
No, but Rova is arguing on the principle that you can't
Yes.
go to.
He's asking what's the difference between the two cases. Why do we say we're so sure? Oh no, so I think exactly. When I learned that, I think Rav is mechulek in that case also.
Rova is
I
Mechulek.
think so. That's how I learned. Yeah. I think that's how I have to learn. Rav is saying that I disagree with Rabbi Yirmiyah. Yeah, you have to say that. So now Rav comes up. This is unbelievable. He says you have to say 3 halachas. If you get through 3 halachas and you agree to all 3 halachas, we have a pshat here. What are the halachas? The father died after 30 days, so therefore what? The father had an obligation. If the father has an obligation, then it goes down to the sons. And they have to pay up. Oh. So what happened there? If he had a lot, he left over a lot, great. Sort of like my Yerusha. My mother's nifter, I got a painting, a needle point. But I got the worst one. My sister got the nicer one. Anyways, it was less than Chomesh Shlaim even. Elo, kegoin deleka elo Chomesh Shlaim.
Still bothers him.
I don't even know where my needle point is. Got lost somewhere. So there's only 5 slime. If there's 5 slime, how do we divide it? 2.5 and 2.5. So what's the problem? Let the kohen go and get 5 slime. Look at it. We have to show. Let's do this outside for a second. It's not complicated at all. It's just gishmak halachas. Rav Asi says a halacha that every dollar that you get the Yerusha is 50% Yerusha, 50% you bought. 50% you made a deal with your brother, you bought it, and 50% it came from the Torah. Why?
Goes back to
Just that real quickly, because the question of yesh breira or ein breira. If yesh breira means when I divide the Yerusha, it comes out retroactively that this is what the Torah wanted, this is what I got the Yerusha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Or ein breira. I made a deal with my brother. You get the Ferrari, I get the house. But it's a deal. It was more like I bought and sold. So since I don't know if yesh breira and breira, misafik I say it's half Yerusha, half
What does that have to do
Lakuach.
with Brera?
So you're trying to say you're going to
Because
get
if yesh breira, it's minat Torah. This is your Yerusha. It's all Yerusha 100%. There's no deal.
That's what was meant to
It was meant to be like that. You guys decided it, but that's how. Once you decided, it was meant to interact with this what Gish Baruch Hu, your father, whatever you call it. It came like that by Yerusha. Or no, there's human intervention here, and it's more of a deal. It was a mischar. But we don't know what the halacha is. You do 50-50. L'may nafkamina. If it was all a deal, then nobody could come get it. Why? Because it's a milval peh. You have to go to step 2. Pidyon haben is milval peh. It's not a milva b'shtar. So since it's a milval peh, I could take from a Yerush. Milval peh, I could take from a Yerush, but I cannot take from a buyer. So this Yerusha, since it's 50% the buyer, 50% Yerusha, so the kohen could only take 50% from you.
1 1/4.
1 1/4, 2.5 total. And here's another question. It's like 6 steps over here, maybe less, 5. Could a kohen take 2.5 out of 5? That's a big machlokes, and that's the machlokes in the sugya. The kohen could only take perhaps the full amount. He can't get paid half. If he comes in, that's how it is. Either all or nothing.
No deals?
All or no deals. Certainly they don't want to do a deal. They don't want to do a deal.
It's
Either
only-
you take it all,
this is
5
only-
slime or no
This is
slime.
what there is.
Then there's nothing.
Torah said 5 slime.
5 slime. You're not taking 2.5.
Shara.
I
It's
offer,
machlokes.
I offer the kohen to keep the baby.
Shara.
He wouldn't stop crying.
Which one is that, Chaim?
No.
That's not the din. All or nothing.
The one from yesterday?
Also nothing.
Says the Gemara. Chaim's a keeper. Chaim's a keeper. Okay, total amount in the Yerusha 5 selah. And we have to say that everybody who's everybody Ramei Rabbi Yehuda both agree to Ravasi. Obviously, we understand by ourselves that if you want to be mechulik on this, all you have to be mechulik is one out of the 3 things. Any one of the 3 things you would disagree with, then you don't come to this conclusion. You have to agree to all 3, and then you have Rameir Shita. Rabbi Yehuda is just going to disagree. The Gemara says with 1 and 3, not with the middle one. I guess because the Gemara doesn't bring the middle one as a machlokes, it's almost. But there are those who argue with it. So we explained the yesh breira. Milvak Suva Torah. This is a loan. This is a chiyuv that you have that the Torah said you have to give Pidyon Haben. Lav Kiksu V'Shtar Damyo. Doesn't have the power of a shtar. It's what? A milval peh. It's as if you just spoke to somebody, you gave somebody money without writing a shtar. And Udekuli Almi Islu the Rapapa. We have to say that there's no machlokes in Rapapa. The Omer Rapapa milval peh goyvim min hayorshim ve'enoi goyvim min al-kuchos. Now we have 5 sela that half of it is a Yerusha and half of it is a purchase. So the Kohen only has a claim against 2.5 out of the 5. And now the question is, could he claim 2.5? The holds, you can take even 2.5. That's the whole machlokes. The Rebbe says you can't take 2.5.
If you give half, you still owe the other half.
10 minutes.
You still owe the other half, or you don't say?
If you take 2.5, no, you're not Yaitza. Why would you be Yaitza?
It says Rabbi Yehuda. According to Rabbi Yehuda.
But there is nothing else to take because these guys are Yerushalayim.
I know, but so you owe.
So maybe when they become,
you owe or you owe to?
I would say they owe. I'd say there's some sort of chiyuv somewhere out there.
No,
but this is what you have. This is what you give.
He could
Why would he
can.
be potter from 2.5? The chiyuv is 5. Why would he be potter now 2.5?
It's all or nothing, that's why.
There is no. There's no all or nothing. According to you, they give whatever you have.
So now, if you get money later, or you want to give from yourself, is there any union?
Yeah, I would say yes.
No, it's your father's chayv. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
it's
This is all the money you have from your father.
dead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but you
that-
didn't have opinion of Ben.
10 years
You didn't have
later-
opinion of Ben.
10 years
If your
later-
father is a chayiv and then the father passed away, you never have
Goes on
opinion of
to
Ben. You
you.
have to do it yourself.
And 10 years later,
That we
somebody
had
walks in.
before. But
10
ger, if a kid was born from, even if his father's alive, his father's a guy at the pregnancy, he has to do it himself.
10 years
This is a
later,
chiyuv. You don't remember? I had to do it in Bnei Brak.
a guy walks in 10 years later and says,
Yeah.
this belonged to your father, another
No,
2.5
I
shekels.
don't
You're
like
supposed to
the-
do it?
Yeah.
You're supposed to give?
Why not?
I did it when I was older too.
I say yes. I'm not a Rav. I say yes. I don't see why. I don't see where Padres is obligation.
Ask you to give.
Let's go back there. Rabbi Yehuda Sova
Put it in a
Chama-
silver tray.
Ask the Gemara Bam Kash on this. Ihachi Rabbi Yehuda Oimer Nischaybu Nechosim. What's Rabbi Yehuda's lashon in the Mishnah? Oh, the estate owes it. But Rabbi Meir also agrees that the estate owes it. He just says you don't pay 2.5. You have to pay the whole 5. 2.5 is not enough. So why does Rabbi Yehuda use the lashon? Oh, Nischaybu Nechosim. Everybody agrees that's not the question. That doesn't show his point. His point should have been Nischayev Gavrim Abayle. The person himself should still pay 2.5, even though it's only half of the opinion of Ben. The person should give it because you're mechuyev to give half. If I'm being mechuyev or mayor, I'm not coming up and say, "Oh, by the way, I hold like Rav Papa." Everybody holds like Rav Papa. I'm not going to come and say that the estate owes it because Rav Meir also agrees the estate owes it, but the state only has 2.5 in the bank. So the question is, if you have 2.5 in the bank, does the state pay it or not? So what should the lashon be? Could you take 2.5? So how do you say that in a Gemara language? You say Nischayev Gavra. The person should pay it, regardless of how much money he has. Don't tell me, oh, the state owes it, because the Meir also agrees that the state owes. That's not how you say machlokes. Void, another very good kasha. Tanya, it says in the Brayso, Rabbi Yehuda Oimer Achim Shecholku Im Yesh Asor Zuz Lezeba Asor Zuz. Now don't ignore the word Asor Zuz. Asor Zuz means 2.5 sela. Asor Zuz is 2.5 sela, right? Because 4 Zuz is 1 sela. So Asara is 2.5. So he says a case, a very, very specific case. If there's 5 sela total in a Yerusha, then they're chayiv. V'mlav potter. Now that makes no sense. My Asor Zuz is Asor Zuz. Ilem bein the Yerusha bein the Lekuchos. So what are you going to say? We're going to go according to what we just said now, that every Yerusha is 50-50. It's half Yerusha, half purchase. So how much do they owe over here out of the 5? Only 2.5. And Rabbi Yehuda holds you could give even less than 5. You give 2.5. So then why does it say 10? Then why do we start off that there's 5 in the pile? It could be even 4 in the pile, 3 in the pile. What's the difference? How much is in the pile? Whatever is in the Yerusha,
Half.
you give whatever half of that to the Kohen. So, but not. It's more than that. It says mafurish that only if there's 5 total, and if there's less than 5, in lav potter. If there's 9, if there's 8, you don't give anything to the Kohen. Why not? Give the Kohen whatever is available. That's what you just said. That chamesh v'chatzi chamesh. You give whatever is available. Even if there's 8, let's say, and there's a total of 2 available to the Kohen, give it to the Kohen. each one got 2.5. He holds that he gets the whole thing. In this case, Rabbi Yehuda holds he gets the whole thing. He gets all 5. Why? Because Rabbi Yehuda agrees to the concept that you don't get less than 5. Oh, so if you don't get less than 5, so what's the machlokes here? Elo de kulei alma chomesh v'li chatzi chomesh. You're right. Everybody agrees that the minimum is 5. You cannot do 2.5, and Levi won't have a problem for the future because it doesn't happen. And plain and simple, machlokes is: do I agree with the blue, or do I agree and I agree with the green, or do I agree with the green and I disagree with the blue? In other words, Rabbi Yehuda will hold that the whole thing is a Yerusha, no matter what the whole thing is. So Mela, he comes and claims everything. This again, we're talking about a situation where the Yerushin Nebuch only got 5 slime, not a whole lot of money for Yerusha, especially to divide it between 2 people. And since Yershin are considered Yershim, Yesh Breira, the whole estate is the Yerusha, then the Kohen goes and grabs the whole estate, because the whole estate is Meshubatim. We don't have this Mechza Lekuach. Rabbi Yehuda disagrees with Rabasi. Or, no, he agrees with Rabasi. He'll say that half the Yerusha is Lekuach. They're Lekuchos. Now, but he disagrees with Rav Papa. He says that Milval Peh, he could demand money also from Lekuchos. Rav Papa says you could only demand from a Yerush. He says, no, I disagree with Rav Papa. I say, you're right, half of it is, 50% is Yerusha, 50% is Lekuach, but I could grab it all because I come first. I'm before the Lekuach. Just like you could grab it from a Yerush, you could grab it from a Lekuach. Even though it's even Zalpeh.
Still better with that.
What?
Chayvu Nechasim sounds better with the first one though.
Nischayvu Nechasim.
That's his lashon of Rabbi Yehuda,
Yeah.
right? I think it would fit better if we said
Why?
that it's all.
Nischayvu Nechasim is going on beforehand.
Right.
Beforehand,
All in
and I don't
Yerusha.
care. Yeah, but that's after. That's the step after Nischayvu Nechasim. Nischayvu Nechasim, period. And then, what happens to those Nechasim? I could understand that. What happened to those Nechasim? It became a Lekuach. You're saying even though it's Nischayvu Nechasim before that. Vika the Masala Seifa. Until now, we were discussing Reb Meir. Reb Meir says that until there's a split in the Yerusha, the Yershim owe the money, and then Reb Yehuda comes along and says, I don't care if there's a split or no split. Either way, Nischayvu Nechasim. So on that says the Gemara, the Misa'ah Veimas on Reb Yehuda. Basically, we're going to go through the entire sugya we just learned word for word. Just instead of on Reb Meir, on Reb Yehuda with a few exceptions to this. In Reb Yirmiyah, for instance, there's a big exception. When did this happen? When did the father die? If the father died after 30 days, there's already chiyuv, and we don't care. That makes a lot of sense. Says Reb Yehuda, I don't care if they divided the estate, they didn't divide the estate. At the end of the day, the father owed the money. The chiyuv is on the father. There's a shiva from the father. What? After there's a chiyuv from the father, the Yershim can go ahead and divide the estate and say we don't owe you money. That doesn't make sense. Ella, you have to say the father never owed the money. So what if they divided the money? Let them push each other off. So now we're in a very interesting position. We're in a position now different than before. Before we were in a position before the division, before they divided the state, and we compared that to 2 shutvim that bought 1 field. Because right now the state is not divided, so we have 2 Yarshim that are on 1 field. Now we're in another position in the Gemara. We're saying that they already split the field. They already split the Yerusha. I can't compare that to Reb Yirmiyah's case where 2 Shutvim own 1 field, because now it's already in 2 separate. Oh, there's another Reb Yirmiyah. Omer Reb Yirmiyah Zoysim Eresh Ne Yosef ben Shimon Shahayu Bir Achas V'Lokach Echad Mehem Soda Mechaveiro Ibal Chayv Goyim Meno. Amazing. Over here, one Yosef ben Shimon sold his field to the second Yosef ben Shimon. You're right. It was never in both of their possession at the same time. But the first one had no right to sell to the second one because there's a lien to the Malva. And that's what's similar over here. Yes, the Yorshim divided it, but they had no right to divide. Before you divided it, me, Mr. Kayan, I have a lien on the 5 slime. Why are you dividing stuff that is mine? Over here also, says Rabbi Yirmiyah, Yosef and Shimon, I have a star to Yosef and Shimon. What are you going to tell me? You're going to deflect it and say, no, I'm not the Yosef and Shimon. It's Yosef and Shimon number 2. Okay, you had no right to sell it to him. Either it's you, and you had no right to sell it to number 2, and if it's not you, so I'm going to go to number 2 and take it from number 2. So either way, I go to that field, says Rabbi Yirmiyah. You don't like it?
It's a standard case of an executor of a will. You have to pay for all the debts before he's allowed to distribute the Yerusha.
They already did it. They already distributed it.
buyer-
So it says beforehand.
The buyer is up a creek.
Yes. Well, the buyer is Yosef and Shimon. His name is a bad name.
He's up a creek.
Yes.
Because he's going to have to get
Either
the field
way,
back, and he
either
can't
way.
go back to the
You can't
first
go,
one.
right.
The
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one's going to be
I
done
think
then.
he owns the whole thing, and then he's gaining.
Yeah. Why is he gaining?
No,
He's not gaining. He owns the whole thing, and he lost his field now. Gain is not. Yeah, the second one is either Upper Creek or not Upper Creek. Yeah, but the first one gets out of it. So he right away, he chops and he owes money. He goes, is there a Yosef and Shimon? He opens the phone, I'll give you a great deal.
Good deal.
50% off market value. Take it.
Why can't
Says the
why can't he go back
Gemara.
to his
Hold on,
father?
let's just finish, Rabbi. We have to do this giant Mishnah, or part of it at least. Okay. Yeah. If you owe me the money, I'm going to take your field. And Rabbi Yehuda holds, you have to stick in there. Rabbi Yehuda holds that the Achim Shecholku are Lekuchos. Right? So those two guys are Lekuchos and so talking about it in Rabbi Yirmiyah, you can go to the second guy and say, you owe me. And he argues with the Rav Papa. He has to argue with this green that says that I can't go to Lekuach. Rabbi Yehuda says I could go to Lekuach. And Mamela, I take it away from, according to Rabbi Yehuda, I take it away from the Yarshim. Omar Rava, Michdi, Nichsoy Devar Inashinun Arvin Bey. Now goes Rava. Now we have to go through all the steps from Amud Aleph. Rava says at the end of the day, a field is just a guarantor. And therefore what? And then he goes through, says the Gemara, V'kula Kulish Nekama. Then you have to go through all the steps from here. It's just equal to what we said before. What? Rava says, okay, we're talking about there's only 5 Sela, and 2.5 and 2.5, and we hold that it's Yerusha and this, and we have to hold everybody agrees. Kids, we go through all these 3 steps. And then we end up at the end at the same thing. Just the question is, do we say this whole sugya Remeir? We say the whole sugya in Rav Yehuda. I think the only nafkamina is in Rabbi Yirmiyah. How we learn Rabbi Yirmiyah is the field b'shutfus, or the field was sold to the other Yosef and Shimon. Says the Mishnah. How much time do we have left?
4 minutes.
Okay.
4 minutes.
It's a very large Mishnah with a lot of cases. So if we don't get to the end, I don't see why we shouldn't. But if we don't get to the end, we can even stop in the middle and maybe go back tomorrow. Says the Mishnah. Shtei noshim shalei bikra v'yoleh shnei scharim. Again, similar case, 2 women that are married to 1 man, and they both never gave birth, and they both gave birth to Scharim. There's no question here. The guy owes 10 seller. I don't care that he doesn't know whose baby is whose. At the end of the day, he has 2 boys. He has to pay for the bris, and he has to pay for the pinyan ben. Says, I just stuck that in. What?
Both
Both of them. They're both his kids.
Because it goes according to the mother.
It goes according to the father and the mother. They're both his wives. He's for sure the father of both of them. He's chayiv on the pinyan. Meisechel men. B'sach shloshim yom. One of them died, and what happened was he decided to be smart. He saw he doesn't have a lot of money. He has to pay for the brisun. He ran to the kohen. He says, "Listen, I don't owe you the money today. I have a pinyan ben coming up in 30 days. Just take the money now before I spend it. Before my wife spends it." So, but one of them died. What does he do now? If he gave both pinyan bens to one, then the kohen has to give back 5. He got it. Not Bershus. But if he gave both the 2 pinyan bens to 2 separate koyanim, and he lights me on he's up a creek. He lost out 5 selah. If his 2 wives, Zachar ben Akeva, one gave birth to Zachar, one gave birth to Akeva, Oishnei Zachar ben Akeva, now one of them gave birth to twins. It's possible that the second one of them gave birth to an Akeva first, but either way, he gave birth, he has a Bechar. Either way, there's 1 Zachar. Again, we had this case by animals also. Shtei Nekevis v'Zachar. Now the Kohen is in Saras because there's 2 Nekevis here, and it's possible that both of these Nekevis were born first, and the Zachar was born second to 1 woman. Or there's 4, but it's possible that 2 Nekevis came out first. Achas bikro, achas shloi bikro. One of his wives already gave birth beforehand. V'yoldu shnei scharim, and they gave birth to 2 males. Now he for sure has one bechor out of the 2. He only has one bechor. Not he only has one bechor. One is for sure not a bechor. Mei secham mehem b'soich shloishim yoyim. Tell me when to stop. Mei secham mehem b'soich shloishim yoyim ha'av patur. Now, since one of them is possible to be a bechor, one of them is possible that's not a bechor. Not possible. One of them is a bechor. One of them is not a bechor. One of them died. It's possible that there's no bechor at all. The one that died is the bechor, so he's not chayav anything. Ha'av patur. What if the father died and the sons are around, and each one can say, I'm not the bechor, I was born to the woman who already had children. Meir comes at the same thing. If they gave the kohen before the division, then it's a good nesina, then the kohen deserves it. By the way, I forgot to mention the first Mishnah over here also. They are mechuyev to give. Well, over here I don't know, but in the first Mishnah, Rashi says nasnu doesn't mean nasnu. It means even if they didn't give, they have a chiyuv to give. They have a pidyon haben. They have to give the pidyon haben. I have to see if this applies here. I don't think it applies here because one of them is a suffix. So if they gave, maybe that's why. That's why the Mishnah says it over there. Because of this Mishnah over here. Nasnu, because over here it's only if they gave. Vim lav dur. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, let's just go until Shtei Noshim because it looks like a new Mishnah over here. Rabbi Yehuda Omer is chayvu nechosim. It doesn't matter if they divided it or not. At the end of the day, there's an obligation. But if one woman, one woman, so no, Zochar Nekev is the next thing. So what do we have here? We have one woman who gave birth already, married to the same man. One woman never gave birth, and one gave birth to Zochar, one gave birth to Nekeva. Ein l'koyin klum, because the one that never gave birth possibly gave birth to the Nekeva, and therefore the kohen can't prove who gave birth to what. So there is no pidyon haben. What time is it?
801.
Okay, we'll start from here. We can go over the Mishnah real quickly tomorrow. Shtei Noshim. It's a very long Mishnah.
Yeah.
A good chodesh.
I didn't understand what you said before about Yashini needle point.
Yarshini what?
Needle
Oh, who?
Needle point.
Mother left over a few needle points.
You got it. You can't. You're not here.
My father is,
Your
yeah.
father's here.
But she did, right, I did.
So if she wrote a will, my son.
It might be Nisim Elug. It's Nisim Elug.
But you know what? He